conversation to them today in the type of situation, you know. So then you see the words in the comic book.
Hey now, what's happening? What's going on? You should know what you should know. If you've been with us for a while, you know what's going on. How we doing, people? We got Dexter Taylor on the phone. Y'all know that. It's a Sunday. This is what we do on a Sunday. Get to hear Dexter come at us, and so we are going to open up the door for him. We was just talking about something too. It's pretty funny. We was talking about how, Dexter, I think the people that we was just talking about, like I said, I've always taken Republicans and conservatives and I put them in a different box. I don't put conservative. Right, I don't put conservative in the box with Republicans. Republicans are two total different things. Right now, we got a bunch of Republicans calling themselves MAGAs, and so they think they're better than everybody else. And you know what I mean? Because like I was telling you, it just reminds me. It's like the Tea Party 2.0, right? When I kind of started with the Tea Party, I thought, hey. Grassroots, right? You know, dealing with the government, wanting to put everybody in the same box, wanting to get together, want to bring in people from this side, and but we're in a different stratosphere right now with this here group right now.
Yeah. I mean, I think. Look, again, populist conservatism, that's the thing that got me excited as a conservative. Grassroots movement. People want to rethink certain things and maybe shake things up a little bit. The point of shaking things up is not to shake things up just to watch them swirl around. The point is to shake things up so that you can get in position and do something real and something that's good for this republic, for this family, for our home. You know what I'm saying? This country, right? And you don't have to always be thinking in terms of the whole country. You could just think in terms of your township or your county or your city or your state or what have you. But in today, we're supposed to be thinking in terms of what's good for us, for our American family, first and foremost. And as you pointed out, people think that they're better because they, for whatever reason, you're a church man, the pride goes before the fall, and at the end of the day, the goal is supposed to be to persuade people so you can make some real things happen. And the goal is to be able to maybe think outside the box. So if there are actual good solutions to real problems outside the box, you got a better shot at finding them. The point is not just to get outside the box and be like, I'm outside the box. You got to actually do something, And, to be honest, it's like, you mentioned the Tea Party. The Tea Party started to become a thing around the same time of Occupy Wall Street, or some of the financial crisis in 2008 or thereabouts. And I remember at the time, I had a big problem with that was one of the, as I always say, one of the big milestones of when I decided to leave the left, because the left was kind of falling in love with itself. You know, the whole Occupy Wall Street movement was really, really in love with itself. And I was like, no, that's not good enough, bro. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, there's actually real business before the country. There are real problems. This financial crash has pointed out some real problems we have. Can we at least think about solving these challenges and just getting a game plan together? Or are we just going to fall in love with ourselves and pat ourselves in the back about how, you know, how good we are and shit like that? Okay, well, you know, that's just a bad practice on the straight. It's bad for people on the left. It's bad for people on the right. Because at the end of the day, the problems are still there. And the problems are real. So if we don't get real, then, well, the problems are going to win right out of the gate. You know, like I told you, you get in the ring with somebody, you know, who actually wants to box, and you want to play video games. You think you in Nintendo land? You're going to find out. You're going to find out very quickly that the other dude is not in Nintendo land. You know, other dude has a clear game plan. You know, about putting them on the canvas. You know, so that's what I feel about some of my conservative brethren who are part of the MAGA movement or part of the Republican Party or what have you. It's like, you know, be part of a group if you want to, but at the end of the day, you got to get your mind right, got to get your head right. Because just because the Republicans won the most recent national election does not, by any means, put us in the clear as conservatives, as people who care about the direction of this country. We're not in the clear. We just got set up to maybe advance the state of play a little bit, you know. And now is the time to do it. But again, to do that, we have to get real, like right now. You know, so that's got me. Yeah.
Yeah. No. And you know, the like I said, the thing that gets me, and the reason I look at this in the way that I do when it comes to, you know, this mega movement is, and I say it's pretty much the Tea Party 2.0, is I see things in it for the very reason I left the Tea Party. You understand what I'm saying? And people are, well, why can't you get behind it? I said, because I left a party that that was pretty much exactly like what they're doing now. So why would I want to, you know, put myself back into the situation that I was in for the reason of leaving? You know,
That's right.
I didn't see at the end there was no unity. There was, you know, they talked about, you know, coming together and, you know, like I said, you know, I hear this, let's make America great again, but that's not for everybody. When they're saying let's make America great again, I don't feel part of that making America great again. You know, it's more like this is what we're going to do, and we want you to come along with us, versus what part of America do you want to make or help to make great again? What part of America do you see that we can make different or make a better part of America? That has never been that's not something that's been said at all. You know?
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Yeah, that's a very good point. I mean, it's funny to hear you say that because, you know, like lefties, look to the professional left, right? The professional left makes a lot of hay with that. You know, they're like, oh yeah, they only think of America as being some small number of people, or people look a certain way, etc. Okay, to me, it would be very easy, and it wouldn't require a compromise in one's principles to say to get in on that and say, well, no, when we say America, we mean all of America.
Right.
We mean all of America. That's all. You know, and it doesn't mean, look, you know, if you're in a certain place, okay, you're going to fight as you can, being in that place and having the local ties that you have. You know, no one's suggesting that if you live in Texas, you're going to move to Connecticut, you know, to help make America. No, we're not saying that, but at least acknowledging that, listen, This is our home, and we're going to fight as we can, where we can, when we can. If we can't fight, we're going to support our friends elsewhere who are fighting. And that's a very different attitude from, well, the hell with so and so state. Just cross that state off. Just cross this municipality off. Just cross it off, because that's not real. As I was talking with Carl before we got on, and it's like how you get some cats now, like they're jacking this whole Greenland idea. Like, yeah, we need to take over Greenland. I'm like, bro, you can't even get the government to respect. You can't even get all 50 states to respect our basic civil rights, our basic, like, Second Amendment rights, for example. You can't even get that in all 50 states. Now you want to act 51? Really? Get that right first. Get that straight first.
Well, also Dexter.
Yes,
If let's say, you got the Democrats saying that everything about MAGA is racist, right? I would think the best way to dispel that is to bring everybody on board. So when the Democrats are calling MAGA racist, they can sit there and go, no, we're not racist. We have some of everybody. You understand what that's the part that I look at and say, because at the end there with the Tea Party got racist. That's why I left.
Yeah.
That's why
I talked to two people who said the same thing. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I talked to a few people who said the same thing about the Tea Party. Like they were excited about it at first, and then they were like, "Wait a minute now."
I did the exact same thing. I was like, "Wow, I didn't see this coming because of the way that it started." I for the life of me wouldn't have even thought that this is how the Tea Party was going to go. So the mega group starts up, and they basically took off from where the Tea Party left off. So now the Democrats, your white liberal Democrats, are calling the mega group racist, and you would think that they would want to dispel that and go, okay, so what do we do? Well, we bring people into the tent. We open the tent up and we let people in. But that's not what they did.
Well, here's what I would say to that. I would say that you don't have to look. Not everyone. If you have a political movement, then obviously not everyone should be in the tent simply because, well, not everyone believes the same as you do. Fair enough. But I would say, the only way I would differ.
You kind of garble. You kind of getting garbled there a little bit. I don't know if it's me or.
Let me reposition my phone here. Does that sound better? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Okay. Yeah. I would say that not everyone has to be in the tent. That's fine. But people who are people who you should know are in the tent, or at least on your side, it can't hurt to reach out to those people. And it can't hurt to kind of stand tall on kind of basic principles and be consistent. That's my thing. It's like I don't so much mind that the people don't have an enormous tent, and it's like, well, yeah, put that aside. If you're an anti-gun, the transgender Lithuanian, then who's a fan of Bigfoot or whatever, not necessary. But at the same time, there are a lot of people who really are on board with these basic conservative principles, and it just seems to me that there's no effort, but not enough people are attempting to really make common cause with people who fundamentally do agree in the first place. And to me, that should be the easiest part. The hard part is, finding ways to kind of come to terms with your political adversaries. That's the hard part. But the easy part should be talking to people who are basically on side. And I can't for the life of me figure out why you would alienate people who were kind of at least notionally on your side. Because you believe in this and this and this and this. Yes. Okay. Well, yeah, we're on sides. Let's do something. You know. And by the same token, I don't see why you'd go out of your way to alienate people before you know if they're on your side or not. That's the other thing. You know, like, so again, a lot of this is just, you know, I get it. It's a human sin. It's pride. But again, pride goes before fall. You know, and I just think that it would be a real wasted opportunity if we use the political momentum that's going on right now, if we misuse that energy to just make another political clique. That's, you know, I mean, this country is chock full of political cliques. So Washington is chock full of political cliques. So what? You know? Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, there's so many serious problems that we have to face as a republic, you know, and there's so many things. I mean, I was just reading in the newswire about the state of Maine. The DOJ is investigating Maine because, you know, the public schools in Maine are saying, well, yeah, we can put together a whole gender transition, social gender transition plan for your kid. But we're not required to tell you about it. So your kid can just straight up like decide to identify as, be a boy, they can identify as a girl at school. We don't have to tell you about it. Because it's not part of the education plan. It's something else.
Right. It's almost the same thing here. So yeah. Because here's the thing. Because I was gonna open up a door about something like that, but now that you opened it up, here's my thing, right? Here in Minnesota, the black church will not speak out on that. The black church will not speak out on having men in women's bathrooms. The black church won't speak out on having prisoner men call themselves being female, and then they go down. Exactly. The black church won't speak out on that because the Democrats have well, the Democrats have bought the black church. So the black church will not, you will not hear, here in Minnesota, you will not hear the black church speaking out on it. You won't hear them speaking out on the curriculum that they have, you know, when you got a book saying, you know, Tommy's mommy is Tommy's, you know, that type stuff. You won't hear the black church say one word about it because they are so afraid of the Democrats and the Democrats taking anything from them that they're not going to speak out on it. They are completely numb on anything, and that's when they. It's funny. It's funny how to me, being in a black church, preaching in a black church, how some preachers will sit there and say, "Well, we don't want to bring politics into the church," but
already in the church.
It's already in the church because the Democrats have bought the church. So it's always funny to me when they say that. And I look at them and go, wait a second. You just had a Democrat in the church, right? Ready to write you a check so you can you can be the gatekeeper of the community. So for you to sit there and say that to me, of all people, you're a hypocrite and you're a liar. The black church has turned into hypocrites, and they've turned into flat out liars. No ifs, no ands, no buts. So here's the thing. No, go ahead.
And here's the thing. That, like, you and I both know for a fact that there's enough people, right, in the black church, or the congregations, right? There's enough people who are alienated by that, who feel a kind of way about that. But as a conservative, for example, I would see that as an opportunity. I don't see that as a conservative. I don't see that as a reason to write people off. I see it as a reason to say, hey, you know something? These are people we can go and talk to, right? Like, you know something? Are you mad about this too? Yeah. They want to talk about in your church? Oh yeah. Well, look, man. On the political side, here's what we're trying to do. You know. But again, I don't get a sense that in the conservative movement at large, that kind of thinking is going on. Like, people are not thinking, wait a minute, these are opportunities. These are opportunities to break into populations that are feeling alienated from this way out, left progressive agenda. And, maybe they want, maybe they're ready to hear something else. This is a chance. It's an opportunity. It's a potential kind of breakthrough. And I don't know. I mean, maybe because I'm in here, I don't see. Maybe it really is there, but I don't know. This is a chance to consolidate the gains of this last election. So, you got, the White House is now friendly. Okay, great. And there's a certain amount of kind of energy in that, at large in American society. Okay, so how do we consolidate those gains? How do we reach out to people who are ready to break with that? Because that's ultimately what has to happen. If conservatism, with the values that you and I cherish, are going to, really take hold and start to change things for the better. But I'm not saying it, bro. I'm not saying it.
Yeah, I would. It's like, when I speak to the Republicans and try to get them to understand that there's a blue wall, right? When it comes to the black community, there's a blue wall, and that blue wall has some of everything in it. Racism, hate, some of everything. And in order for them to do anything about that blue wall, they got to come in and go, we're not racist and we don't hate you. And until they do that, then the Democrat Party is just going to keep putting bricks up on that wall going, well, they're racist. Look at what they do. Look at what they say. Look at how they do things. Look at what they're doing. And with Donald Trump doing some of the things that he's doing right now, the Democrats have every right to say what they're saying. This is the part that I come in and say, there's black when all of them black folks went up there to the White House for the Black History Month, and instead of conducting themselves in a way to say we're up here so we can move the needle in our community, they didn't do that.
Right.
They went up there, getting in the cameras, taking pictures. Oh, look at us. We're in the, that type stuff. They didn't go up there with a purpose of saying we want to make moves back into the community. We want to show. They didn't. Their whole premise of being up there at that White House was garbage. Period, point blank, because they did nothing, and nothing came out of it. If you're going to go to the White House, that's why I said, see, Trump couldn't have a black person like me come to the White House, because I'm not coming up there to play. I have no room to be playing with you, bro. I'm up here for a reason. See, we're going to have a conversation. You understand what I'm saying?
Let's make deals. Let's make deals, right? Let's talk brass tacks. Exactly. Correct. And here's the funny thing. I think Trump is the kind of president who is open. Again, he's someone who, in the political sense, he's someone with whom it is possible to do business. But you have to come there on business. You see what I'm saying? It's like that's the way I feel. It's like this is the person with whom it's possible to reason. But you have to come on business. If you come on some other bullshit, then nothing's going to get done. But again, talking about these Democrats. They don't want anything to get them. They don't want to change the status quo because status quo is good to them.
That's right.
The status quo is good to them. Right? Let's be honest.
That's
you
right.
know, it's like you getting your bag from the local Democratic Party apparatus. You know what I'm saying? You getting your street money. You know, when Democratic candidates come around to run for office, like you're good to go. You're good to go, right? But again, that to me, that should be an opportunity for conservatives. It should be an opportunity, but again, like you pointed out several times when we spoke before, it's like part of that is that grassroots populist conservatives have to show up on the ground level, right? It's like because Trump isn't just going to decide to make a trip to your neighborhood, for example, but grassroots conservatives could. They could say, well, who's doing what in what city?
You have 1 minute left.
And, it's not hard to know these things, bro. I mean, social media exists. The internet exists. It's never been easier to find out who your natural allies are and what they're doing in this part of the country, right? So there's no excuse I will accept. Conservatism, populist conservatism has to do better if it's going to survive, in my opinion. And I want it to survive. We need it to survive. But again, we've got to get real. I just heard the 1 minute warning, so let me drop
Okay.
Come back and chop up some.
Sounds like a deal. We'll see you on the backside.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The caller has hung up.
All right, people. How are we doing today? How we doing? For those who don't know or are new with us, but the people who has always hung out with us on Sunday knows what's going on. We have Dexter Taylor, who we are talking to right now from his prison cell in New York. Dexter Taylor was ramrodded by the Democrats there in New York when he put together, which every American has a right to do, when he put together a firearm that has never been fired, a firearm that he wasn't selling, a firearm that he bought with his credit card, so it wasn't like he was hiding it or hiding money or anything of that sort, paying cash for it, paying and buying the parts out of a back alley. He bought the parts from a store. But the state of New York found a way to get this black man, lock him up, and make an example out of him. And now he's sitting in prison. And we are hoping and praying that someone with some type of power can open up this case again and take a look at it. The judge in this case told Dexter Taylor's lawyer that he could not use the Second Amendment in this case at all. Couldn't use it at all. Couldn't even say it at all. That's how deep that this here travesty of justice goes, to the point that this man could not use something that every American has the right to use in their defense. So that's who we talk to. And we do this. We try to get this here in on Sundays, give Dexter an opportunity to say what he has to say for us to hear him and things of that sort. So Carl is on the other end of it. Carl is usually the one in the backgrounds. So if you guys look on his page or my page, you will see that Carl's putting things out there about Dexter, so you can learn a little bit more about his case.
And we're back.
Sounds like a deal, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Look, we, like what we were talking about before, these opportunities that are presented to us. Look, let's take it out of the racial sphere for a second, or out of the demographic sphere for a second. There's lots of focus on the Trump. There's no secret that the Trump White House is cutting a lot of budgets in a lot of different places. I would like to see more people, more conservatives, talking to young people. People, let's say, who are in college or just out of college, about actually trying to solve, acknowledging that, look, such and such a program is intended to make things better in this or that sphere of activity. Okay, so that program's budget is getting cut. Okay, so what kind of new ways can we imagine to fill that gap that don't necessarily require the government to spend money? What kinds of things can we do? What kinds of local organizations can you set up where you can start to actually take over that function? In other words, it's almost as if sometimes I feel like it gives it the Democrats want to make it as if like the government just has to be an ever-present part of everyone's life, right? It has to be everywhere. It has to be omnipresent. It has to be omnipotent, right? But then on the other hand, when conservatives in Washington or Republicans in Washington decide to cut budgets, like no one is dividing anyone to think differently about these things. To think, something, this program, at least in its intent, if not in actual fact, the intent is decent. Can we do some of those things as private citizens? What can we do as private citizens? How can we help fund this? Something as simple as this. I'm a tech geek. Everyone knows me, knows I'm a big nerd, right? And I was reading about this thing where the administration just cut budgets for things like weather balloons, like NOAA. The government agency responsible for setting up weather balloons and running satellites and all those things to get better weather forecasts. Okay, so they say, okay, well that's cut the weather balloon launches. But, okay, so what can ordinary citizens do? How can we raise money and have some college students? Like, actually, we can design like an amateur. People have done that. You can go on YouTube and see like just ordinary citizens deciding to launch weather balloons because they think it's a cool idea, and they launch them, and and then the thing comes back down and it's got GPS on it. Where they look at like, can ordinary citizens do that? Can ordinary citizens actually take a hand in that and say, okay, we're going to figure out some kind of clearinghouse for the data that we gather, and that's available for people in the government if they want to use that to help fill the gaps in data. That's one example. Feeding the poor. I don't know, counseling. Just any number of things. This thing has had its budget cut. What can we do to can we come together as citizens without the government running it and solve some of these problems? That to me is a fascinating challenge. And we have a lot of people in the higher education system who, they're so focused on this narrow kind of thing of, well, is maple syrup racist? It's like that. And I'm like, bro, we should be, like, our young people should be trying to solve real interesting challenges. People talk about pollution. There's pollution in the oceans. Are there technical solutions we could find for this? Is anyone encouraging people to say, listen, just because the funding got for this government agency doesn't mean you and your friends can't get together and talk about like technical solutions and figure out technical solutions to these things. There's still lots of really interesting problems for us to solve as human beings, and we can maybe make some traction on that. But again, I haven't seen anyone on the conservative side kind of exert their imagination in that way. So, we're going to reach out and talk to people about how, we can, the agency has less money now. We don't need that agency necessarily to start to get a handle on this problem. And if that's true of national level problems, it's 10 times as true of local level problems. And again, it's the imagination, and it's you have to have the willingness. Conservatives have to have the willingness not to fall in love with their own shit, not to start putting their own thought views just because, quote unquote, we won an election this last time around. It's not that simple, It takes work. You got to consolidate these games. You know? So yeah, you know, I'm never discouraged, but I am sometimes disappointed.
Yeah. I would have to. I have to definitely agree with that. You know, that's why I am pushing that we all just don't affiliate ourselves with a party. I mean,
with a party at all.
With a party at all. I mean, we had, so the Republican Party here in Minnesota paid this guy to put out bad information about another Republican. So he wouldn't. Yeah. It's that type of stuff that I look at these parties and go, there's no reason to push water for the Republicans or the Democrat. There really isn't, because once these people get up in office, they do what they want anyway. They don't do what we want as a people, and you know, yeah. And it took a lot of people a long time to see that, and then when they finally wake up and start going, wow, you know what, he's right. You know, only thing you need to be in a party for, if you want to fight the other party. But if you want to start making changes and legislative changes and things of that sort, you really want to start making change, we can do that as a people. Because this is what I know. Those legislators understand numbers and money. That's all they understand. Because one person couldn't go up to the Capitol and say, you know what, I've got this problem and that problem, and they're going to listen. It just will not happen. Right. But if enough of us go up there and say we can vote you out, if enough of us go up there and say, well, you know, here's the money that you need to be elected, you're not going to get. If enough of us go up there and say that, they start listening. They hear us then, you know. Yeah. But they don't hear one person at a time.
Yeah. No. Look, I think it's plausible to say that these days the proper level of political organization that we should start thinking at, the proper level is the mailing list, not the political party. That's what mailing lists are you on, what interest groups are you part of, right? And I was telling conservatives when I was outside, I'm like, look, start a mailing list. And whatever thing you're advocating for on social media, elsewhere, by all means, keep your social media presence, do what you can there, but your power is in the mailing list. Because you could get kicked off Twitter or Facebook or whatever, but you can't get kicked off the mailing list. So start your mailing list. You know, you have some, and you don't have to start with some issue of national interest. You can start small, start local. In fact, you should start small and local. You know, and use the tools that we have that are available at no cost, low cost or no cost, to find out who agrees with you, find out who's with you, find out who's broadly on your side, get them on the mailing list, and then figure out, okay, what we're going to do, what problems do we want to tackle first? Okay, you know, we're trying to do this and this and this. You know, all the tools are there for us, really. All the tools are there for us to use. What's lacking is the imagination, is the political imagination. And like you said, it's a very good start to say, yeah, I don't care about a party. I mean, I'll vote, you know, I'll vote for this or that, depending on what I feel at the time, less of legal what happens. But I'm not going to be like, oh, yeah, this is my party. No. The party belongs to the people who, like you said, you know, can move the money around. And fair enough. But moving people, at the end of the day, the purpose of the money is to move the people, which tells me that the people are more important than the money. You know, Mike Bloomberg is a very rich man. Like, his net worth is on the order of billions. He decided to run for, I think he decided to run for president at one point and made essentially no progress. Because with all the billions he had at his disposal, the fact is that people just didn't like him. And for good reason, by the way. But I'm just saying, you know, I think a lot of us let our cynicism run away with us, where we're like, well, it's all about the money. Well, no, it's not all about the money. For money is there as an instrument to try to move the people. If you can't move the people, then it's a wrap. So, again, locally, in your community, in your township, in your borough, in your city, what have you, where are the people who are on your side? How can you get together and move some more people? There's never been a better time to kind of exert one's political imagination to try to make things happen. But again, like we keep saying, it does take imagination. It's a different way of thinking. And I'm tired of people, jumping up on social media or whatever else and repeating the same dumb talking points and making the same dumb jokes and just saying all the same dumb shit that people have been saying and expecting a different result. Like, come on, let's consolidate these gains as conservatives. So that's what I think.
We have to get people on board with that idea. You know what I mean? I mean, it can it can be done. It's just we've got to get to the point to where, because here's the thing that cracks me up all the time. It's like I always tell people, when people they love to ask me that question because number one, because I'm black and because I'm a reverend, they always put me with the Democratic Party, right? I mean, I always get that. I mean, straight off the bat. And then all of a sudden I say, I carry a firearm, and then they look at me like, whoa, okay. What do we call him now? You understand what I'm saying? Because, being black and being a reverend, the gun don't come in, gun is not part of what they consider to be a reverend, right?
Right.
Especially if you're black. But
that's right.
But my whole thing in that what you just saying, and so they look at me and they go, well, then you're not, and they say that, then I guess you're not a Democrat. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But before that, the first two, black and a reverend, I'm a Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
You at the gun, I'm not a Democrat.
Yeah.
I always think right? I always think that's where the funny part comes in for me. And they look at me and go, well, what are you? So I consider myself to be a conservative. Well, you're this and this and this. No. Wait a minute. You're talking to the wrong person, because I don't believe in a party.
Correct.
I don't believe we should be pushing water for the Republican Party, and I don't believe we should be pushing water for the Democratic Party. You will never, ever. I was on a show. When was it? Monday? I think it was Monday. I did this show, and they was trying to get me to believe that I should push water for Donald Trump and all this here type of stuff. No, sorry. It's just not going to happen. I believe in the people, because, and like I told them, show me in my Bible, anywhere in my Bible, where it tells me that I have to be a Republican. Show me somewhere in my Bible where it tells me that I have to be a Democrat or a libertarian. But I can show you all through the Bible where God is telling us to be of the people. And we forget that part because we're so busy fighting each other because you're a Democrat and then you're a Republican. So we got to fight each other. But if we stop fighting each other as people, we can get somewhere, because like I said, I'll say it and I'll say it again. We put these people in office and they get up there and they completely forget about us. You're not that important anymore. But yet you will still fight someone for that very person who could care less about you and your family once they get up there in office. They get up there to get rich. They don't get up there to enrich my life. at all. It doesn't happen that way.
Well, listen, it's even before they get up in office. I mean, again, I'll never stop talking about this space I was in with Sonny Johnson. Shout out to my very good friend Sonny Johnson and the Thunderdome crew. Sonny Johnson had a space where they were talking about Misha Maynor. Where is she from? Georgia somewhere? Grassroots black politician, conservative, right? And she was talking to people normal. You know what I'm saying? She was talking to people in a way where even those of us who were Democrats could be like, oh yeah, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, that's making sense. Just talking regular, not talking crazy to us or about us. And she started to take that, even before she got into office, she started to take that Republican Party money, and then immediately began talking like all the usual suspects. What happened? What happened was the money. This is before she got into office, right? And there was a guy, there was a person who was a guest in Sonny Johnson's space, and he broke it down. He was like, yeah, this is what happens when you take the money. Someone takes over your schedule. Now they're going to work you to see how they can raise money, how they can use you to make money. Now they're going to parade you around the country saying, look, a black Republican, see? The Republicans aren't racist. We have a black Republican, yeah. But what you say is not up to you anymore. Who you talk to is not up to you anymore, right? Who you sit with and fellowship with and reason with, whatever, it's not up to you anymore. They've taken over your schedule. So it happens even before people get to office. Because again, the money is the instrument that they're using to move the people. And nothing's wrong with trying to move people with money, but it's just like if you can move people some other way, then do that. If you can figure out a way to run a campaign with less money, then do that. If you can figure out how to be more efficient in the use of money, then do that. Because I'm convinced that if people really want to make change, they've got to figure out how to avoid becoming beholden to a party in a concrete way as a candidate who wants to run a campaign. Okay, I want to run this campaign, but if I want to run it at this budget level, then I've got to take money from the RNC or from whoever. Well, the moment you do that, it's a wrap. So, and again, imagination counts for a lot here. Because again, one of the things people only think of social media as this consumer good that we can do, like a consumer level service we can use, but it's also an instrument for people in politics to get things done while spending less money. And I don't think we haven't seen everything that social media can do in terms of helping people run grassroots campaigns. We haven't seen everything that like, cheap or free open source software and automation can do in helping people run campaigns. Because the real party people, the party apparatus, they've got their consultants, they're very expensive consultants, their consulting firms and their, private databases or what have you. And they want to run that a certain way and want to dole out that information a certain way into certain people. And I think that grassroots conservatives need to break that. They need to just rip that. And it's possible to do. But it's again, I'm not seeing people like apply their imagination to these problems. You know what I see people applying their imagination to? How to justify a mistake someone in government made, just because that person happens to be a Republican. I was talking with some folks about this whole thing with the Signal group chat, encrypted tuna, and there's a journalist on a group chat who shouldn't be, and okay, they were discussing war plans. Okay, now as a conservative, I'm like, okay, well, so and so, whatever his name is, made a mistake. That's all. Like, you have the wrong person on the chat, and no one did a communications check beforehand to verify that like everyone who was on this call should be on this call. Okay, it was a mistake. Because again, I'm a conservative, and I think people in government make mistakes. It happens, right? It's not the end of the world, bro. It was just a mistake. Some of my conservative brethren want to talk about, actually, the Democratic deep state planted a number on the guy's phone and they hacked this and that. Bro, someone in government made a mistake. That's all. And yes, the Democrats are saying this and this and that about it, but so government made a mistake. That's all. If you believe government is what it is, then of course you think that people in government can make mistakes. But you know what I mean? Like what you said about pushing water. You want to push water for this party to the point where you can't even admit that someone messed up. Just admit it was a mess up and move on. Or you want to try to kind of put legs on an idea that has no legs. Instead of taking some real ass political idea that has legs and trying to get it to run, you want to now take legs and put it on an idea that has no legs. So the president says we want to take over Greenland, and now you jacking that just on the strength. Why? I thought he was trolling. I thought he just said this shit to get a rise out of people and to make liberals hysterical because it's fun and easy. And fair enough, okay. Cats are taking it all serious. They're like, no, we got to take it. The reason we need Greenland, we need to take over the country of Greenland is because we could and if it's only so many people in Greenland, if they mess with us, we could and then I realized, bro, why are you trying to give that idea legs, bro? It's just it's like it's not real. It's not real. Go try to do something real. But there's a bunch of real shit happening in our communities where Democrats are running the show and they're making a terrible mess of it. Fix that first. What are you talking about? Show that their ideas are bad, or that you can have a better idea than their terrible ideas. Show me that. Show us that. Show the country that. We need that. We need these problems solved. We don't need Greenland, bro. We really don't need it. We don't need it. We need a government that's responsible to us, bro. We need a government that will listen to us. We need governments in our cities that don't run the place into the ground, brother. We need a government that has not declared war on marriage, bro. We need a government that hasn't declared war on families, bro. We need people to stop destroying families on one end and then scooping up the broken children from those destroyed families and dumping them in prisons to make money off them again, like these Democrats do in New York and other states. We need those problems solved. We don't need Greenland, brother. I'm sorry.
I haven't been keeping up with that because to me it's just silly.
You ain't missing much.
Here we are,
bro. You ain't missing much.
That's what I thought. It's just silly as all get up, and I'm sitting there going, I'm not even going to waste my time. I know J.D. Vance went up there for like 3 hours, and they booed him. Yeah. They kind of booed him out of there. But I'm not wasting my energy and my time to even think about some goofy crap like that. That's just unbelievable.
And you shouldn't, but right, you shouldn't. But the point is that why are so many of us doing that? That's the point. Because Trump
gave them something to do while they do something behind the scenes. That's why. That's what this is about.
But here's the thing. But my thing is But that's only an explanation of what they look like. Because look, straight up, right? And I'm very happy that this president got elected because the alternative was someone almost too horrible for words. But listen, brother, Trump can't give me something to do. What are you talking about? I'm a grown ass man. He can't give me no homework.
He said, "I'm gonna make y'all. I'm gonna do something to your mind, so y'all not looking at what I'm actually doing with this hand." So he put Greenland out there, and he put Greenland.
That's what I'm saying, but you, brother, but that to be effective. I mean, you laugh, but that to be effective, brother. For that should be effective, you have to give up your status as a grown-ass man. You feel what I'm saying?
Well, there's a lot of Dexter. Come on now.
I'm a grown ass man. Trump, hey, brother. Trump can't give me no homework, bro. No. I'm thinking about this problem here, right here. You can't give me homework. You get this shit, and it's like that's what I want more of us to have that. And it doesn't mean we have to jack whatever dumb shit the Democrats are doing. No, fuck that. I'm just saying, like, bro, grow up. Come on. Like the house is on fire, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like the house is on fire. No, just because we got someone who is nominally friendly to the Second Amendment and other things we care about, and hostile to some of the things we think are bad, doesn't mean the fire didn't just go out because someone won the election. It doesn't work like that. The house is on fire. So grab a bucket and let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? We need breathing. Shut the fuck up. When you an infant, what's the matter with you? And again, I don't care that he said, like I said, it's not simple. I thought he was trolling. I thought he was just saying something. I didn't think it was that deep. I thought he just said it because, it's like he says, I want to make Canada the 51st state. Shit he says, right? Okay, so yeah, that's funny. And move on. That's all. I didn't even think it was anything that deep. And then I look at it and say, the cats are taking this mad seriously. I was like, wow.
Yeah, man. It's the same thing about, what is that, Gulf of America? I mean, really?
Yeah, same thing.
Really?
Same thing, right?
Dude,
same thing.
I was going to tell you about this situation that happened over in, a couple situations happened, but this 11-year-old girl, 13-year-old girl, just shot this 11-year-old boy in the head.
Jesus.
And I'm supposed to worry about the Gulf of America? That's supposed to be something that I'm actually supposed to put two and two together to think about? I ain't got time for this here goofy crap that they're putting out here. That's just
you have 1 minute left.
That's like with the Greenland thing. I really don't have time to even put...
but some of our... But that's the problem, Rick. Some of our supposedly conservative brethren didn't have a lot of time.
No, those are Republicans. That's why I say we gotta break that up, Dex. We gotta break that up. Those are Republicans. They ain't conservatives.
Let's be honest. Yeah, but let's be honest. Let's be honest. You can find some. You can find some conservatives who are also taking that shit seriously. I mean, the problem is limited to the Republican Party. Let's be honest.
You want to do your minute? You want to do your?
Yeah. Let me drop and come back.
Okay.
Come back.
All right.
Yeah.
The caller has hung up.
All right. Again, for those people who are just jumping in and probably don't realize what we're doing and what's going on here, we're talking to Dexter Taylor from prison. For some of those who know and some of those who don't know, Dexter Taylor is in prison there in upstate New York for building a AR-15. You say, well, everybody gets to do that. Well, apparently in New York, if you do it and you're a black man, they will remove the white judge, put a black judge on your case, and then the black judge will say that you cannot use the Second Amendment in your case. Yeah, that happened. I know people sitting there going, there's no way in the world. No, that actually happened to Dexter Taylor. This is your justice system, people. The justice system is so corrupt, but yet and still, we can't come together long enough to do something about what this country, the government, has done to people in this country. So basically what we're doing is we're basically giving Dexter Taylor the opportunity to come on with us on Sundays. We do this on Sundays and just speak his mind, say whatever he wants to say and get whatever he wants off his chest. Also trying to stay in touch with him to make sure that he's not in there going crazy. And the next thing we know, we found out Dexter Taylor's trying to break out and climb the wall. So we want to get him out the right way. So if you know of any influencer, someone big, whatever, man, do us a favor. Just take a few minutes and just tweet out Dexter Taylor to them. You can go on my page or you can go on Carl's page. That's UR_A_smartass_C. That's Carl. Carl is the one that's in the background who always doing the hard work. I get to do the easy thing. I just talk. But you can go on his page, my page, and you will see on there where you can do something. You can help Dexter, put some money on his books and things of that sort. So for his lawyer, if you would like to do that. Oh, and these hats. The hat says, "I stand with Dexter Taylor." I've got the black one. I was going to wear my red one tonight because I wore my black one last week that we did, the week before that we did this here. But that's what you can get, a hat. This money, large part of this money goes to Dexter Taylor to help him out. There's also, which I gotta hit Carl up again. Tell Carl I gotta get a sweatshirt. There's also sweatshirts that say "I stand with Dexter Taylor." Same thing here with the carbon microphone on it. Like I said, black hat or red hat.
We're back.
Okay, black hat or red hat, either one. Like I said, I wore my black one last week and I got it on again. I was gonna wear my red one. That says "I stand with Dexter Taylor." Red, "I stand with Dexter Taylor." Black mic with black lettering on it. Hey, like I said, you can order these. They are quality hats. They're very, very, very good hats. And so hopefully someone will see this one and go, "Hey, I want that, and I want to help Dexter Taylor. I want to stand up with Dexter Taylor and try to help to get this man out from behind bars like he should and need to be." But what's going on, Dex? We back, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Cool beans.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I was thinking. I'm sorry. Go on.
No. I wanted to. I wanted to kind of delve into the situation. Like I said, we had this 13-year-old girl shooting a little boy in the head. I do believe the boy has passed, but I say that to talk about the situation of the crime that we have in our community. I'm not going to say black on black, because the minute you say black on black crime, black people get, it's funny that they get upset because you say black on black crime, but they don't get upset of the people killing each other with black on black crime. They don't get upset at that, but they get mad at you for saying black on black crime. That's what pisses them off, which is pathetic to me. Flat out, no ifs, ands, buts, pathetic. Because we still haven't found a way on how to remedy this situation where we got these kids killing each other in our community.
Well, I think we have found a way. It's just everyone's forgotten that what we know what the answer is. I mean, look, I tell people this all the time. Okay. First of all, it's useless to look for the causes of violence. Violence has no causes. Peace has causes. Peace is the thing that is actually caused. Violence is the baseline. Violence is the baseline condition which you just accept as being baked into the cake with human beings. You're a churchman, you know about Cain and Abel, right? Right from jump. That's what we jumped out and started doing as human beings. That should tell us everything we need to know about human beings and violence. Here's the thing. Peace is a thing that has causes. So when you destroy the things that cause there to be peace, then of course you're going to go back to the baseline, which is violence. Now look, we've been destroying families for decades in this country. Come on. We've been destroying society from the inside out for decades in this country. Okay, so if you destroy the things that cause there to be peace, you destroy the place where young people learn to be people, learn to be citizens, learn to respect legitimate authority, Learn to reason about how to share, about how to resolve disputes. Learn how to reason about how to make the best use of limited resources together with other people. If you destroy that, then you shouldn't be surprised when young people are not killing each other, shooting the place out. And people want to act like, and I feel like, sometimes people in politics want to act like it's this mystery. Ain't no mystery. Ain't no mystery. Bro, think about where I am. I talk to cats all the time. Cats come from broken homes, very, very, very many of them. Come on. It's like, and so on the one side, and this is what you say about not pushing water for party is so, so, so important. It can't be said enough. Because people like you and I, we're thinking about, okay, in our communities, we know you got to try to put families together, put communities back together, what have you. But politically, on the one, you get the Democrats, who all they can think about is, well, clearly, we need to put more money into the situation. Basically, the welfare agencies and so on have to get more money because obviously it's a poverty problem. It's not a poverty problem. It's not a poverty problem, brother. It's just not.
Well, they push it as a poverty.
Side,
well, Dexter, they push it as a
poverty problem too
because it makes money.
Because it makes money. Thank you. That's it. Okay. And on the other side now, you have Republicans who, they're looking for all instead of Republicans who call themselves conservative, instead of looking at the obvious conservative reason of staring them in the face, which is like, this is what happens when you destroy civil society by destroying the family. Instead of saying that, they look for all kind of shit. Well, you see, it's a culture. It's a black crime gene. It's because you don't we need more stop and frisk. We need to step on people's constitutional rights more. We need to there needs to be a national divorce. All kind of dumb shit. And it's like, okay, so both of you people are retarded. Like, I'm sorry, y'all Democrats are retarded. Because you're looking at a problem that has nothing to do with poverty and you're calling it poverty. And by the way, you refuse to look at your failed policies for the past few decades and admit that anything has gone wrong. Anything. And on the other side, you have Republicans who either want to ignore it or want to just point and laugh, or just say, well, that's because you vote for Democrats. Bro, if civil society has been destroyed in your community, the family has been destroyed. It doesn't matter who people vote for. The family has already been destroyed. Now, going forward, yes, we want to get politicians in office who will at least put a stop to the war on families. But on any given day, if you're living in a decimated community where families have been decimated and everything's broken, then you should expect violence no matter who you voted for. So the idea of, oh, you deserve to vote for it, it's just dumb. It's like, well, why? So back to what you said, right back to what you said. I'm not pushing water for either of these two institutions. No, I'm not doing it. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to do what I can as a private citizen. I'm going to run my mouth where I can. I'm going to keep pointing at the problem. I'm going to keep saying what I say. And, hopefully, someone will come along or some numbers of people will come along who can say, yeah, let's get together and try to actually make some traction on this problem. But they have to be people. They have to who really don't care about one party or another, who are not looking at every little thing as every success or failure as an excuse to big up one party or to down the next. I'm not interested. The DNC is a grown-ass woman. She can take care of herself. The RNC is a grown-ass woman. She can take care of herself. Not my problem. Y'all do your thing in Washington or wherever you. I don't care. I'm not interested. So yeah, man. I just, like I said, I'm just glad you're out there. You're out there fighting a good fight, saying this stuff because someone needs to say it. Somebody needs to say it. You know?
Yeah. We have to find we have to find ways to make people see things. It's like I was saying earlier how we was talking about. We just talked about how the black church is carrying water for the Democrats, and the black church has let the community down, because if the black church had done the things they were supposed to do. When I was growing up Shelby County, Tennessee, right? Shelby County, Tennessee, you went to the church for everything. You went to church to get shoes. You went to church to get clothes, to get food. When the farmers and everybody would bring corn and potatoes and tomatoes and everything to the church, so it can be divided up. Exactly what God had asked the church to do. Bring your tithe. See what a lot of people don't really understand. That when God said bring your tithe, he really meant bring your vegetables, bring clothes, bring things that can be shared throughout the church. We've got to the point now where you got these pimp black preachers who are telling people to raise their tithes in their land, or raise their tithe in their money, and that type stuff. But when I was growing up, the church did exactly what it was supposed to do. It held the black community together like it's supposed to do. Today, these pulpit preachers who's driving these Cadillacs, got 50 rings on their fingers, got land and some of everything somewhere, ain't done a thing for the black community at all. And that's why the black community is where it's at today. I blame the black church. And until we get the black church back together and get it on the right track that it's supposed to be on, then these kids are going to be out here 15, 16, 17, 18, killing each other. Because the black church taught the black man how to be a father in his house. That's what the black church did. The deacons, the elderly deacons, taught the young man how to be a father in his house. And when that broke down, that's why you see all these here little nasty boys running around here sticking their little Peters in every little bitty girl, making babies that they were never going to be with. And now you got grandma. You got grandma who is 28, 29 years old, raising her grandkids while mommy is out tweaking in some type of club. See, we don't like to talk about that, Dexter. We don't like to talk about the truth, brother.
Here's the thing. At this point, I can't wait for the black church to come back. I gotta be honest with you, because again, like I can solve the problems I can solve. There's no practical way, like you mentioned, the black, these black preachers who are getting the back from the Democratic Party. So they're obviously not going to talk about anything that breaks their hold on things, their financial hold on things. The Democratic Party wants to keep it centered as a money problem because they can move money easily. That's not a problem. Like I said, they're giving these guys street money whenever these Democratic candidates come around. They give them street money. So we have to go back to the roots of like, okay, where 2 or 3 of us are gathered, okay, we can get started. So I think we're going to have to, find some unorthodox ways to get back to the orthodox, to get back to tradition. To me, it's families. It's families that teach young men how to be men. It's the church that upholds those traditions. And remember that the church was effective because it used to be a social institution. Like it was just like, of course you went to church. So if everyone believed in that institution, everyone was bought in, then it could exert moral power in that way. But once it has ceased to be an institution, once people have ceased to believe in it, once people have ceased to actually care about it as an institution, then it can exert no moral power. And that's the real thing, because quiet is kept. The church can't move. I mean, yeah, the church. These pulpit preachers you talk about, where they're on the pulpit, they're on the pulpit on Sunday, and the church closed the rest of the week. So no volunteer services, no, as you say, no farm to table, no free child care, no after school activities, no nothing, right? Okay, well, yeah, they're getting the bag from the Democrats, but they can't move more money than the Democrats. That's not possible.
Well, like I said, with the black churches, they basically, what's going on is Democrats turn around to give them a $5,000 check. They turn around and give $1,000 back to the Democratic Party.
There you go. Right. Anyway, so I think we have to get back to the roots. We have to, Christianity in its first years was an underground thing. It was an underground religion. And I think it has to get back to that. We have to get right back down to the roots, and figure out ways to do the things we need to do outside official channels, person to person, what they used to call retail politics, neighborhood to neighborhood, one block at a time if necessary. Because again, these first of all, institutions that have been bought and paid for, they're not interested. They're not interested. Why would they be? Why would they be? I mean, we've seen that, for example, with school. Take schools. I just talk about after school. Think about school itself. People in places like New York, people ask, well, how come we're spending so much money and the schools never get any better, or the schools are still functioning at this marginal, they're performing at this marginal level?
Yep.
And people want to show me all kind of charts and graphs and all kind of bullshit I don't really care about. And I'm trying to tell people, look, the fundamental problem is that the soul is supposed to be an extension of the family. It is supposed to be the thing that steps in to watch over the kids and to try to teach them something when the parents are at work or when they can't be there. But that's okay. And so the authority of school teachers comes from the family. We're back to families again. The authority of a school teacher, the ability of a school teacher to walk into a classroom and control what happens in that classroom, does not come from the government. It doesn't come from the principal, doesn't come from the school board, doesn't come from the PTA, doesn't come from the city council, doesn't come from the mayor, doesn't come from the governor, doesn't come from the president. The authority of a school teacher comes from the family. And the fact that a little school teacher of any color and any size can control a student of any color and any size, as used to be the case not that long ago, right, is because that kid came from a family. You know what I'm saying? And that kid had a father at home who was crazy like me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and before that kid left home, it was like, boy, you better get in there and walk right and talk right and hit those books. God help you if I hear that you out there cutting up in that classroom.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Okay, that's our tradition, bro. You know what I'm saying? Okay, if you break that, a fathers are optional. Oh, really? A father's optional? Okay, no problem. Okay, fathers are optional. Yeah, non-traditional family, it's okay. We just have a bunch of single women and the state will take care of the rest. Okay, well, how has that worked out? So, okay, given that that's been the policy, we're paying to break families, yeah? And then you're like, wonder why the schools are broken. You broke the families. Of course the schools are broken. And they're never going to be right unless you fix the family issue first. That's just how that is. How you have a young man who never learned to listen in the house, he can go to listen in a house full of strangers? Why? Why would he? Why? He never learned to listen in his own house.
That's right.
He never learned to respect legitimate authority in his own house. Why is he going to respect legitimate authority in the state's house? Why? It's not going to happen. Okay. So, I mean, this is the thing that nobody wants to talk about, Reverend. because again, it threatens the money flow. Because the moment you say, "Listen, this is not working," so then what are we spending all this money for? But again, some people have an interest not in solving the problem, but in maintaining the cash flow, and that's the difference. To me, that's the ultimate difference. Do you want to solve the problem or just maintain a cash flow? Because if you're going to maintain a cash flow, go do that. Okay, you go your way, I'll go mine. I'm trying to solve the problem. And then coming back to what you were saying earlier, Reverend, about some of our conservative brethren and our Republican brethren. Because you see, I think conservatives are in the mix too. They're some just like a lot of people who were in the Tea Party and didn't call themselves Republicans. They were Tea Partiers. They were conservatives who were tired of Republicans, but they fell prey to the same sins that we can all fall prey to if we're not careful, like pride and resentment, and et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so what I'm saying is a lot of our conservatives / Republicans / whatever brethren don't want to actually admit that is a problem, that is an American problem. That is an American problem. It's not a black folks problem. Again, who's the vice president? Y'all need to go read Hillbilly Elegy for real. That's J.D. Vance's book. Some of y'all, I feel, haven't really read that, and don't really understand how radically the vice president, the current vice president, showed that he is, at least philosophically, on our side of things. You and me, I'm talking about, Rev. Y'all need to go read that book.
Right.
But the fact is, this is an American problem. It's not a black problem. It's not a city problem. It's an American problem. And the sooner we get to that, and the sooner we realize that as a republic we are going to rise or fall together, that we're going to love each other or perish, the sooner we get that idea down, the sooner we can move on to actually doing the work that needs to be done. That's it. I mean, that's just it. You're not going to have a viable republic where all the cities are sick unto death. It's not going to happen, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you can't indulge in your fantasies of going somewhere to live in the mountains and watching everything burn and laughing while you do it. I'm sorry that that's not a viable solution, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It doesn't work like that.
Well, we hope. We hope it don't work like that, Dex.
No, we know. No, excuse me. We know it doesn't work like that. No, because you know why? Because it's never worked like that.
Right.
Never worked like that. Right. It's like it's like the nation rises and all falls. That's it. It's not like because we don't even have a hereditary aristocracy. It's not even like the ancient kingdoms of Europe that had hereditary aristocracies. That if the nation fell, Baron so and so could link up with Earl so and so and Count so and so, and they could figure something out. It's not even like that. We don't have that. So there's nothing to hold together. There is no future for us as Americans unless we rise together. And again, this does not mean that my red state brethren have to pick up and move to blue state. No one's saying that. All I'm inviting people to do is just exert a little bit of political imagination, actually a little bit of theological imagination, and ask themselves that question: well, who is my neighbor? How am I supposed to reason about this problem? You see, the thing is, when I talk about this, a lot of people say, "Well, what am I supposed to do?" Well, you can start by figuring out, by at least wrestling with your own sins of intellect. It's like we know this. I mean, especially as a churchman, you got to work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. And I think some of these people, some of my conservative and Republican brethren, especially the ones who call themselves Christians, I think some of them don't really have forgotten that there is such a thing as a sin of intellect. You talked about young men running around impregnating women, doing this and that, building broken families from the ground up. It's like that. You could call that's a sin of the body, let's say.
Right.
Or a brother who raises a weapon and strikes down his brother. That's a sin of the body, you could say. You know, but there are sins of intellect, and thinking that well, the reason why this part of the country is blighted, or the reason why this city is blighted, is because somehow my fellow man isn't fully a man. Somehow it's because somehow I am naturally better than he is. Look, that's a sin of intellect. That is a sin of intellect. And if you call yourself a Christian, you should know better. You should know better. You know. Now, as a matter of fact, one man can be better than another man on the specifics, right? I mean, you know, we're all equal in the eyes of God. Doesn't mean we all have equal capabilities, equal strength, equal talent. That's not what it means. It means you will all be weighed in the balance of found wanting. That's what that means. Huh? It means you'll be judged as being of the quick or of the dead. Doesn't matter what your paid job is, bro. That's how that is. Huh? So, you know, people, again, like fall out of love with yourself. it's like stop being in love with yourself, bro. It's unseemly. You know, stop being in love with your zip code. That's unseemly. Get right with the idea that this republic is our home, and this republic is going to rise or fall as a republic. That we will rise or fall as a people, and that we're going to love each other or perish. Those are the options. Those have always been the options. Those have always been the options. Everything else has just been background noise. Everything else is just to look away from the obvious. How long, Reverend, how long can you look away from the obvious before it smacks you in the face? Before you drive off a cliff?
Right.
You know? No, I'm listening.
Nah, that's all right, man. We find ourselves sometimes trying to figure this thing.
The caller has hung up.
Oh, okay. Did he? We'll see what happened here. He wasn't.
I think he got disconnected. That happens sometimes if the Wi-Fi drops.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I always forget, Carl, that he is on a Wi-Fi when he's talking. So right now, yeah, his Wi-Fi probably dropped. He's on a Wi-Fi situation there in prison. So that's probably why he dropped off here. We'll see if he's going to come back we'll get him back for one more on this, because there's a couple other things that I definitely would like to talk to Dexter about, you know, while he's in there, find out how he's doing and what's going on with his mom and his dad and his child while he's in prison, just to see how they are doing. But anyway, like I was talking about earlier tonight, for those who wasn't with us, as you can see, if you can read my hat here, say I stand with Dexter Taylor. That's who we have on the phone. Like I was telling people, this come in black and it also comes in red. You can definitely get one. I forgot how much they cost. We'll get that figured out. Or you can get a tank top a hoodie that pretty much says the same thing. So, and that helps Dexter out. Also help his case, because he's needing a lot of money to appeal to. Isn't that funny? The state can railroad you, and for you to prove your innocence, you've got to come up with thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars just to prove to them that you're innocent. That is just flat out crazy. It's pathetic. But that is the country that we live in. That they can basically run a story on you, put you behind bars, and in order for you to say, "Hey, I'm not guilty," in order for you to say, I did not commit the crime that you have slammed me in jail, you've got to come up with a lot of money. And that's what the system is built on. The system is built on making sure that we can find poor people, right? Poor people, whether they're black or white. I mean, I've been in many of prisons. I've been in many of jails. And one thing I can tell you, even though people try to make you believe that's only one people in prison or is black people, that's a lie. There's just as many white people that's in prison right now that's been railroaded that needs help also. But, you know, we don't talk about those because we're too busy trying to make the case that black people are in prison, and then you got white people are in there also that can't get themselves out, and nobody ever talks about them, and they just sit in prison and rot. That's just flat out unfair to me, if you ask me about it. That's just unfair. So if wherever you're at in your local neighborhood there, why don't you go down and request a pass-through or request a tour of your local prisons or local jails, and you will see there's a lot of people who are don't look like me in prison, and because they are poor, they can't get themselves out of prison. Because they're poor, they can't have a way to fight for a wrong and injustice that has probably been done on them. Y'all should go, seriously, you should go take a look. And I guarantee you, if you did, it will change your mind perception on how you deal with when people are just calling out one group of people for being in prison.
We back, Reverend Tim.
So, but all right. Sounds like a deal. You did?
Yes, sir.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Now I was just going over.
Yeah.
I was going over how these laws, this system, can take a poor man, put him behind bars, and in order for him to prove that he's innocent, he's got to come up with more money than he's ever seen before in his life. Just to prove that he's innocent, after the state or the local federal has basically blackballed him into, you know, being in prison, being in jail. You know, it's a crying shame, and even that. See, in here, I'm gonna go back to something here, Dexter, that we was talking about today, right? Let's say this MAGA group, let's say the Republicans, wanted to actually do something and say, you know what? Again, we want to prove that we are not racist. You know how many black men are behind bars right now that should not be behind bars? The Republicans can come up with some type of organization with some type of group to be able to look into these black men, white men, poor men that are in prison right now. They can come up with something, right? And again, dispel the mindset of everybody who think they're racist. There's things they can do. They just don't want to do it. But anyway.
I mean, look, I happen to think that, you know, doing something like that, you know, looking into the many failures in our criminal justice system, especially but not limited to in places that are run by Democrats, I think that's a good thing all on its own. The only place I disagree with you is, look, I don't think it's necessary, and I think it might even be a little counterproductive for Republicans to go around trying to quote unquote prove they're not racist. All they have to do is stop saying dumb shit. You know, in other words, in other words, don't try to prove
that's
anything.
true.
Just
yeah.
Just stop being stuck on stupid. You know what I'm saying? Because I find like if someone's trying to show me they're not racist, that's kind of creepy. Like, yo, get away from me, bro. You know what I'm saying? In other words, don't tell me how much you like me. I don't want you to like me. You know what I'm saying? I want you to show some consistency in the principles you. If I see you're consistent, in other words, if I see that you're going to call balls and strikes fairly, no matter who's up, no matter who's at bat, you feel me? Then over time, I'll know I can trust you. Which is even better than like, is this person or is this person not a racist? Is this person consistent? Are they fair? Can they be trusted to govern fairly? See, that's the problem. See, cats, well, hell, I mean, in my own experience, like, I've had a bunch of conservatives, Republicans, call them what you will, when I was outside. They'd be in my Twitter feed, in my spaces with someone's like, oh man, I feel terrible. What's happening to you? Da, 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 da. They're violating your civil rights, this and that, and this and that. Okay, wonderful, thank you, right? And then, but as soon as I talk about because they're all in on the Second Amendment, which is great, so am I. Okay, but you see, the Bill of Rights is 10 amendments. The Bill of Rights is 10 amendments, not 2, 10. So now these same conservatives, so-called Republicans, call them what you want. When it comes to the Fourth Amendment, they go all wobbly. Right? You talk about the right to keep and bear arms, they're all on board. You talk about stop and frisk being a bad idea because it violates citizens, the Fourth Amendment rights of American citizens. All of a sudden, they got excuses. They have reasons why stop and frisk, why randomly stopping people and going to their pockets is perfectly fine. Now, I'm sorry, that is way worse than being a mere racist. Some of my best friends are racist. I need people who are consistent. I need people who will actually look at the situation on the merits and be like, hey, listen, this is bad no matter what. It's just wrong. Because think about it. The Democrats are horrible about almost everything. And they're always proving how non-racist they are. What good is that? They're always trying to prove how much they love us. What good is that? What has that gotten us? So I would say, to my conservative brethren, Republican brethren, don't try to prove you're not racist. Just stop saying dumb shit. Just, you don't have to be any less conservative, bro. Just reason about things from the correct first principles that you should know, being conservative, and many of them being Christians, moreover. You should know that stuff. You don't have to look it up in some dumbass a lefty textbook about critical race theory, any dumb shit like that. Just reason from first principles. Like all the conservative values. I don't understand, bro. All the conservative values, they're all there. It's like the family. You always talk about the family, but then you act like it's some weird other thing. Why, marginal black neighborhoods remain marginal black neighborhoods? Families, bro. Families. The same thing you always talk about. You and I have said, Rev. These guys, every time these conservative politicians, they come, they try to run in the cities, but it's like when they run in the county, when they run outside the county line, they sound very good as conservatives. When they by the time they get to you and me, they sound like statists. They're all for the big state when it comes to
Yep.
you and me.
Yep, that's pretty
Be
much
consistent.
yeah.
Right.
Well, there was this lady, white lady. Everybody got mad. Everybody was mad at her because she said that she was going to raise her kid white. So everybody called her racist for saying that. And I'm sitting here going, I don't see why would you call her? Because she said she's going to raise her kid white. Y'all mad at her. See, I like people like I'm like you.
Yeah.
Be consistent, right?
Right.
If you're going to tell me you hate me because of the color of my skin, I'm cool with that. I would rather know. It's like my grandfather say. I would rather know where the snake in the grass is than not, because most Democrats are snakes in the grass, right? And you don't know where they are, but they love to try to make sure that they show you love, but yet the minute you turn around and walk the other way, they bite you.
Correct.
Right?
That's exactly right.
Look,
exactly right.
I tell people, if you want to be racist, that's cool. Just be consistent. Just be consistent in doing it. Period. I mean, it's simple, right?
I mean, again, it's like governing is about trust. In other words, if I'm gonna vote for someone to govern me, then I have to trust in some measure that they're going to cover me fairly. And so it goes right back to the thing of if I can't, and listen, I'm fully prepared. I've told people this before. I'm like, listen, just assume they're all racist, bro. Like, stop, like, especially young folks getting into politics, college age, grad school age, about, that like a lot of them are very into that. Well, is so-and-so racist? Is so-and-so like black people? I'm like, first of all, you need to have more self-confidence than to be always asking yourself if so-and-so likes you or likes us. That should be irrelevant to you. So my formula is just assume they're all racist. So Trump is a racist. Okay, let's say yes. Assume they're all racist. Assume Joe Biden is one too. Now maybe you can think clearly.
Facts.
Just assume that they're all like bro. Assume that when we're not around, they'll all talk about us like dogs. Let's assume that because again, all this liking, bro, is killing us. You don't kill me with liking. You're gonna like me to death. You're gonna like me to death. No, thank you. I didn't come looking for a friend. I got plenty of friends. Thank you. That's fine. I'm looking to hire a person to run a machine. That's it. That's what electoral politics is. We're going to hire a person to run a machine. Don't run the machine into the ground, and don't run the machine exclusively for the benefit of your friends or your demographic group. Run the machine. Run it straight up the middle. Do that consistently, and people will trust you. It's like, and listen, the way people run these campaigns, the way people talk about themselves, about the election, it shows a lot. If in other words, so if you run, like, first of all, your willingness to show up and run in the first place, that counts for a lot.
Right.
Like, okay, well, the Democrats are running so-and-so city to the ground. Well, I'm a conservative. I don't like to see that. Okay, so I'm going to run against them. Okay, so listen, if first of all, if you run, you got to talk to everyone normal. Stop talking crazy. Don't come up with all this, get off the plantation stuff. Just talk normal, bro. If you decide that you're going to be a better candidate next time and keep it moving. Don't lapse back and well, I only lost because these Democrats they're brainwashing people, this and that. It's like, bro, you were just talking about personal responsibility 5 seconds ago on the candidate. You just now talked about it. You just now repeated a personal responsibility. And then just 5 minutes later, something doesn't go your way. You're like, it's not my fault. The Democrats have a brainwashing machine. Make up your mind, bro. Be consistent. So, this to me, this is the process even simpler than you say. They don't have to prove anything about whether or not they're racist. I just assume everyone's racist. So we can get on with talking about economics and policies and outcomes. You know what I'm saying? And all I ask is that someone be consistent and show a willingness to govern consistently, to respect the rights of citizens consistently. We could start with that, and I think we get a long way with that. Yeah, brother. It is what it is.
I am looking for something just to kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I can't find it. I thought I had it paged, but I do not here.
You looking for something before?
Well, I was gonna bring this up, but I forgot what it was. I thought I put it on my page so we can talk about it. It's what I wanted to do. Do you guys get to watch sports in there?
Nope.
Oh man.
We don't get to. One, we don't have TVs. Two, so we don't have TVs. And you can only get you can kind of rent movies on the tablet, but you can't watch live events at any time. We might walk past the television that the corrections officers use, we might see a glimpse of something on that, but no, we don't get to watch sports.
Oh.
What you were thinking about, yeah. Is there some sports news you want to bring in the mix?
I always thought you guys had a TV room. You guys get to go down in and sit down and watch like an hour or two of something on TV.
No, not even on Super Bowl day, bro.
Yes,
Super Bowl day, it was just locked out there. Yeah, it used to be that they would open up the day room and let the guys go in there and sit and watch the game. But this past Super Bowl, it was just like, locked down.
Wow. Do you need it? You need anything while you're in there, or what are we looking at?
No, I'm good to go. You know?
Okay.
You know, but people send money to my commissary. My family, of course, sends money to my commissary, and you know, again, I've got books on the tablet. I've got, you know, books here in the cell. When back before the strike, I had my job where I could go to the library every day. Now all the programs are at a standstill. Everything, nothing's running. So, you know, so not so much now, but eventually they'll open programs back up, and I'll be back working again, and then I'll be able to go back to the library. But yeah, you know, I got plenty. And in fact, I'm just now reading these two books that Jeff Charles sent me. Jeff Charles sent me The Negroes and the Gun by Nicholas Johnson, I think his name is, and Overruled by Neil Gorsuch of Supreme Court fame. And so I'm about halfway. I'm a little bit more than halfway through Negroes and the Gun, which is, of course, the history of the Black American tradition in arms.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. You know. So yeah, no, you know, nothing in particular I need. Again, mostly what I need is for people to spread the word about this case, reach out to the DOJ, you know, and just keep this in mind so that so when New York's turn comes in the spotlight, the DOJ can really, but they don't forget what's going on.
Who's the DOJ?
The Department of Justice.
No, who runs that? Who is? Do you know who?
Oh, that's Pam. That's Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi is the Attorney General.
Right.
And then Harmeet Dillon is the point. I think actually I heard someone say something about Harmeet Dillon being confirmed or needing to be confirmed. I didn't know that was the case. I didn't know she required confirmation, but I think Harmeet Dillon is. If she is not now, she is in line to be the top civil rights person, head civil rights person at the Department of Justice. And then, of course, you know, look, the other top names in there are also Second Amendment friendly names. I mean, you've got Dan Bongino, Cash Patel. So yeah, I'd say we reach out to people in authority in the DOJ. Let them know what's happening. And this is a very interesting case, mine, because you had a federal agency spying on American citizens. I'm talking about the ATF. And then handing that information over to Second Amendment hostile jurisdiction that we have here in New York. And then next thing you know, we're off to the races. And then we have this very interesting trial where at the last minute, where before we went to trial, you have the Brooklyn DA making prejudicial statements on hot microphones. You know, we're going to make an example of Dexter Taylor and so on and so forth. And then the last minute of our trial, you had, they switched it. They switched out the judges, and they sent the wife of the Brooklyn DA's top fundraiser to preside over my trial. And then all the shenanigans that happened during my trial. So, you know, as a First Amendment advocate, this case is interesting, but just as an advocate for, you know, normalcy in the judicial process, this I think is cause for concern. But what I think what it looks like to me certainly is the state of New York, you know, conspiring to deny Americans equal protection under the law. to the extent people can raise awareness about that, reach out to the Department of Justice about that, and let them know. I think actually this past week I found out that the DOJ has started investigating California, which is awesome. They're actually looking at the LA County sheriffs about time. So it turns out that the civil rights, the Second Amendment civil rights task force at the DOJ is really hitting hard. Like I thought that they'd take a while to get around to looking at the states. No, they hit the ground running. So they're looking at California right now, and hopefully they'll get to New York soon. And start to look at what's going on here. So.
And so right now, we're looking and asking people, should we write an email or send Pam Bundy some type of short letter saying, "Hey, Dexter Taylor, keep him in mind." Yeah. So
I think so. I think again, to Pam Bundy and also to Harmeet Dillon, absolutely 100%. Or to work care of the Civil Rights Division, yes, 100%. If they're sending emails, by all means, send a link or two. Don't spam anybody. Don't go crazy. Be polite, all that stuff. But yeah, email, snail mail if you want, social media. Tag these people on Twitter. Again, don't spam anybody, but let them know that hey, this is what's going on. This is what's at stake here. Let them know this is not about permission to carry. It's not a concealed carry case. This person was in his home. This person is a law-abiding citizen, no criminal record. Let them know that the prosecutor, my own prosecutor, the person who was getting paid essentially to put me in prison, said in writing to my lawyer that I was a person of good moral character. Literally said that I would have passed a good moral character test if I had applied for a permit. And of course, you and I know that I had a permit. And I still have a permit. It's called the Second Amendment. All right. So again, that's what people can do. They can reach out, keep this thing front of mind, so that we can shed some light. We can shine a very hard, very bright flashlight on things that New York State and New York City have been doing, and also going to point out the hypocrisy of these Democrats who say they love us so much.
Yeah.
Who say they love us so much. But yeah, don't get me started, bro.
No. Totally understood. So I'm asking, and this is why we do this. We got 1,700 people on here, and
yes, sir.
If I can get half of you, 700 of you,
mm-hmm.
to take a little bit of time out of your busy day. Don't have to be today. Don't have to be tomorrow. But it'd be nice before next Friday. Send Pam Bundy an email and see if we can't get her to look at Dexter's case or put some effort maybe into that. So like I said, 700 views, 700 letters going to this lady. I do believe she would probably go, there could be smoke, there could be fire, but here's the smoke. So if we can get the smoke to her, then maybe that will open, maybe that will open something up, man. If I can just get you guys to do that. You go, well, what can I do to help? Well, we're not really asking you for money, just asking you for your pen and piece of paper, asking for just a little bit of your time to send that out to her and see if we can't get a difference made. 700 people.
Yeah. By all means, social media is also very good. A lot of people are busy. Maybe they don't have the time to sit and write a letter, write a stamp, and all that good stuff. No, by all means, tag people on social media. Tag a few of them. And of course, I have a link tree. My link tree ID is Carbon_Mike, because of course, Carbon Mike is the online name under which I did conservative politics online for many years. I have a link to my link tree, and send it on. say, here's, here's an interview I did with, what's his name, Owen Schroyer from Newsmax. Here's one where I was with, Chris Salcedo. No, sorry, Aaron Schroyer from InfoWars, Chris Salcedo from Newsmax. I mean, there's a bunch of my friend Dana Lash. Shout out to Dana. Who's like a hardcore Second Amendment warrior. God bless her. In fact, Dana Lash talked with, she was at SHOT Show this year, as was Donald Trump Jr., and she actually mentioned my case to Donald Trump Jr. And, on like in a film segment, in a videotape segment. So, there's a lot of content out there. I'm going to keep trying to make more content. But yeah, that's, and I've always said this, right? It's like, Reverend, it's like I'm terrible at asking for money anyway. But when people ask me, it's like, well, the number one thing you can do is spread the word. Because we shouldn't fool ourselves that cases like these are purely legal. There's also political dimension to them. There's also like a mood of the country dimension to them. You know what I'm saying? So the fact is that these justices, these federal judges, these Supreme Court justices, so on and so forth, are in fact influenced by the mood of the country. So speaking of spreading the word, don't just talk to government people. Talk to your neighbors. Talk to people in your circle who may not know about this case. Spread the word around. And of course, I'd be delighted if podcasters, influencers, Second Amendment people, strong people, conservatives, who are willing to talk about it with me. I'm delighted to get on the horn and talk with them, and field their questions about this case. My lawyer feels the same way. I checked with him multiple times. He's like, absolutely, I'm delighted to do interviews when I speak about this case. The most recent interview I heard was with a gentleman named Cameron Edwards of YouTube. And he talks with my lawyer, Daniel Varghese, for like, I want to say half an hour, 45 minutes, something like that, about this case. And there's a lot of content out there to choose from. And yeah, again, the best thing people can do is spread the word. Just spread the word. And of course, I'll keep on doing what I'm doing in here. And, please God, we'll succeed. So.
Perfect. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah. So again, it's a small ask to, like I said, throw a love note out there for a loved one. The way I see it, that we can see if we can get somebody on this here and people really paying attention to what's going on. So that would be awesome if we can make that happen. So again, when you have a little bit of time, you're just sitting there in between whatever you're doing, just pull up the email or social media, whatever. We don't care what it is. And get that sent out. And you can go on, because Carl put on my page also Dexter's, all his links and everything. So you can go on my page and go under at Fortune Radio Cast.
RevTChristopher
on there.
Future Radio Cast.
Future Radio Cast. That's on there, and get some information also from Dexter that way too. So let's make sure we get.
And also,
go.
And also, please follow me. Everyone who is interested should at the very least follow me on Twitter. I think right now I have between 8,000 and 9,000 followers. We're trying to get to the 10,000 mark, so that the algorithm kind of tweaks us, puts us in the next tier, so to speak. My buddy Texas is abroad right now. He's touring with someone's band. He's a musician. He runs our music studio back in Brooklyn. But right now he's touring with someone's band. But when he's back in town, he's how I get tweets out. I'll email him something and he'll post it for me on Twitter. So I am still active on Twitter. And yeah, people should follow me at Future Radio Cast. And let's get something done.
Yeah, we it's at Future Radiocast.
Radio.
Future Radiocast is what you want to tag into Dexter's get up thing on, and that'd be also under Carbon mic with the mic and everything there. So we want to make sure we get that out. And you got a lot of stuff up under that one too, right? With situation going. So
you have 1 minute left.
Keep up.
Yeah,
with
I got a lot of stuff up there, and I've also got some information also online about the kind of things I believe, what I stand for, what Foundationism is. The Foundationist Manifesto, which is my non-crazy manifesto. People can go to YouTube and go to the Infinite Jigsaw podcast, and there's a 10-part series I did with my buddy Danny Duran from the UK. If you want to find out where I'm actually coming from as a citizen, but yeah, it's a fight, and I'm all in. My family is all in. My friends are all in, and thank God, my internet family is all in as well. So it's good. I just went the 1 minute warning, so I'm gonna jump out and come back with one last segment if you want.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do about a 15-minute.
Sounds good, bro.
Perfect. We'll see you on the backside.
Thank you for using Securus. Goodbye.
All right, we're gonna get Dexter back in here for about another 15 minutes here, and then we're gonna wrap it up for tonight. Again, like we said, we just try to give him an opportunity to come on and talk to us, let us know how he's doing. Also, just to keep his mind fresh with things that's going on out here. The man was slapped with a 10-year prison sentence. He could have took a plea deal. But just like he said, for what? I'm innocent, so why would I take a plea deal? And I agree with him. There's no reason for him to take a plea deal, especially when he's innocent, when he didn't do anything. He's done nothing wrong. It's not like he murdered somebody, stabbed somebody, killed somebody, harassed anybody or anything of that sort. He did nothing. And the judicial system decided that it was going to cast this spell on him. So that's why it's important that we fight back. You talking about a true political prisoner, I consider that's Dexter Taylor. When you talking about political prisoner, he is that. This is all about political situation that went on here. A group that decided that they were going to take this man and railroad him and use him as a stepping block to some of them probably getting, somewhere higher in the position that they're in. And that's the sad part about it. This man sitting behind bars for basically pretty much doing nothing. And that's sad. So at the end of the day, again, we ask that if you can take just a little bit of time, I don't know, maybe they won't go anywhere, but at the end of the day, we will never know unless we give it an opportunity, give it a shot, and send something in to them and see if we can make a difference. And that's what it's about. But if we do this as a group, as a people, then maybe we can make a mistake. Now, I can write 50 million letters to them, and they're going to ignore me because I'm just one person. But if we can, but if we can do this here together, we can all get together and do this here. I think it'll make a bigger impact than one person just writing a letter to Pam and asking Pam to look at Dexter's case. So if I can get you guys to do that before Friday, we'll definitely appreciate it. That's a lot of time just to send out a little letter saying, hey, I heard Dexter Taylor's story. I think Dexter Taylor is being imprisoned for no reason at all. As a citizen of these United States, as a taxpayer of these United States, I'm asking that his case be looked into. That's simple. And just hit send. Just hit send and let it go, and we'll see what it do. If it do what it do, like Dexter say, do what it do. So
yes, sir.
It is what it at the end of the day.
Is what it is.
It is what it is. Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Exactly. What was that called? What was that called? I was never made Charles movie. But they ain't gonna do what they gonna do, baby.
Yeah, something like that, right?
Yeah.
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 But yeah, like
Yeah,
you know, if we can get that stuff out there, we'll definitely appreciate it. And we try to do this here. Like I said, we try to do this, you know, every Sunday if we can. Get Dexter an opportunity to say what's on his mind and things of that sort. So, and I thank Carl very much. Mr. Carl just had a brand new. He just brought a brand new one into the world, and he's a happy daddy, and I am happy for this young man so he can know what it feels like to like I call them gifts. So he can know what it feels like to have a gift and bring somebody up and mold him in the way that he is as a young man, and we can, you know, like I said, Uncle Dexter and Uncle Rev, we can watch him grow up. So you say, oh.
That's right. Yeah, and you know, it's like Carl sent me a few baby pictures. He sent me and my mom some baby pictures of his little one, and the little man is you know he's got that inquisitive kind of questing look to him. You know, he looks like a very lively baby. I am predicting that he's going to be one of our best. You know, like he's going to be one of our best pickers when he grows up. So,
yeah. Hey, as long as
bless Carl and his family.
As long as his daddy don't make him a Dolphin fan. See, I gotta get Carl's address real quick so I can send him a baby bib, a Packer baby bib, so the baby can take a picture in it, and then he'll grow up and he'll be a true football fan. But if I let Carl turn him into something, he, you know, I'm gonna have to get
some kind of Dolphin fan.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Damn. Let's see the off-brand team. The off-brand team. Come on now.
Right.
Come on, Carl. Yeah.
I get him, or I send him. I can send him a Duke. I can send him a Duke Blue Devils bib too. You know, so we can just wrap this whole thing up. So I know that the kid's set there, and I ain't have to worry about nothing.
Yeah, he might end up being a Duke Blue Devil fan. I actually like Duke as a college.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah, but see. The Dolphins, he's gonna grow up a Dolphins fan.
See, I knew it. I knew it. We man, I tell you,
I'm sitting here rocking him the seat right now, and you know he just had his feeding for the night. I'm rocking him the seat right now and listening to y'all. You definitely gonna be a Dolphins fan. Let me tell you.
So you wanna throw something in there, Carl, on what we talked about tonight before we get out of here?
I mean, everything that y'all talked about tonight, you know, I'm 100% in agreement with, especially with the whole Greenland thing. I thought it was, I myself think it's weird that, you know, with all the problems that we have in this country that we should be focusing on, we're talking about taking over other territories and countries and stuff like that as something serious. Like Dexter said earlier, I thought Trump was trolling. I thought it was just something to, you know, stir up the base. Get people laughing and stuff like that. Just like when he said he was going to take over Canada. Like, nobody said that serious, but yeah. So, I mean, y'all was spot on everything. Like, I've been tweeting it out and letting everybody get an insight of what y'all was talking about in chat tonight. So,
sure.
You know, if you missed any of it, go back and listen to it. It's recorded. So, you know, you can listen to it on your lunch break or while you're at work, or, you know, just listen to it in the background and acknowledge and also get to know Reverend Tim, running for Lieutenant Governor of Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Get to know Dexter, a true freedom fighter of the modern day. These two brothers are role models of the community. So, if you guys are listening, get to know who they are, follow them, and yeah, that's all I have to really pretty much add.
Thank you, brother.
So,
I appreciate you.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely appreciate you for all that you do in the background, for giving us the opportunity to do this, and tell the wife we said thank you also to her, and we hope, like I said, everything is going good there for her, and I'm sure she's happy with what about grandma and grandpa? Is this the first grandchild for your?
On her side, no. She has an older sister who has 2 kids.
Okay.
On my side, both my mom and dad has passed, but this would have been their first.
Okay. Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome, though. To know that.
Yeah.
With everything.
Making bigger families, that's always a good thing. So.
Yep. Especially as a boy too, so that the bloodline it keeps rolling. So that's yeah. Yeah, that's a good
right.
That's a good part about the bloodline keeps rolling.
I gotta send you the picture of Reverend Tim Dexter and Dexter's mother. I had already got it, but we had Lord Julian rocking the Dexter. I stand with Dexter Taylor gear. His little
He got a t-shirt. He got a little t-shirt.
He gonna understand who Dexter is as a freedom fighter. That Dexter is fighting for his future as a gun owner. So,
yes, sir.
We gotta keep him in the onesie.
Exactly.
Yes,
so we would like, if we can, get him out of there before the little one turns 10. We would be nice to get him out before the little one turns 10. The way that I see it, if we can get some help in doing that through the people who are listening with us, that will help like you would not believe. And like I said, we're behind Dexter because we believe that he is innocent. I don't think myself or Carl will put our name on somebody who's been out here doing things that's not supposed to be right. This man did nothing wrong, and we believe that he is a true political prisoner because of what the Democrats have done to him. And with your help, hopefully, yeah. And speaking of which, because I can tell you right now, if I even get anywhere near that seat as far as a lieutenant governor here in Minnesota, you better believe I'm going to use whatever power I have to go after those in New York on this here issue. I'm going to touch anybody that I can touch to make sure that they see what's wrong here. So it is that important also that they vote for me and get me in office so we can start making these wrongs rights when it comes to justice. So I plan on using my power for that and making sure that happens. If I have to look for a reason to get to the White House that way and saying, "Hey, Trump, here's the deal, bro. We got to change." And like I said, that's the thing that got me with the black people who went to the White House, right? I mean, one of those black people could have easily went up there and said, "You know what? I'm going to go up here and stand on business. I got this black man up in New York right now that's been railroaded. I need to get it to somebody. I need to talk to somebody on it, even if I, yell it out in the room when Trump comes in or when Tiger was getting his medal around his neck. They all could have been shouting, Dexter Taylor, Dexter Taylor." That's how you stand on business when you go to the White House as a black man. But those black people who went to the White House was not there on business. They was there so they can get in front of cameras, smile. And that's the thing that pissed me off about the black so-called Republican. They don't never stand on business.
On business. I mean, this is the thing. Really, it's like. I mean, I have to say, look, I'm enormously grateful to all the people who stood up, and use whatever platform they had to talk about this case, reached out to me with prayers, moral support, with material support. I'm grateful to everybody who says there's a lot of MAGA people out there who show themselves to be in my corner, and I thank them all, irrespective of party affiliation, But it's also true, like, you talk about Black Republicans, like, where are they at?
Where are they at?
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Where are they?
Sorry. I mean, it's like what?
Where is this C.J. Pearson?
Bro, I mean, let me tell you what makes it so bad, right? When a news crew came to the prison to interview me, what network was that news crew from? CBS. CBS came to interview me, right? Now, here's the thing. Where's Fox News? Haven't seen hot nor here. Now, it's not like, people who know me know I've never held any particular brief for Fox News. I'm just saying, they say they're a conservative news network. Okay. So, where y'all at?
Where y'all at?
So, yeah, and look, all these Black Republicans, Black MAGA people, what have you, who were very prominent, in look at the Twitter universe, social media universe, on YouTube, so and so and so. Where are they?
Where's Tim Scott? Where's Byron Donald?
Yeah.
Where's Vernon?
Yeah,
Vernon, what's his face? That other cat that's down there in Texas who loves to try to talk the way other people are supposed. Anyway, I ain't heard from none of them. None of these Black Republicans have stepped up and done nothing. So when people try to figure out why African Americans, descended of slaves, get upset at these so-called Republicans, Black Republicans, because they don't do nothing. They don't do anything.
This is what I'm saying. It's like, this is a case where you have to guess, right? I mean, I understand people have a right to be skeptical. Let's be honest. What Democrats have done in my case, and I'm not unique by any means, but what they've done in my case is so egregious that you don't have to guess at what's going on. You can just run it down. You go, well, does this person have a criminal record? No. Was he carrying guns outside the house? No. Was he talking crazy shit online and trying to, acting like a terrorist or domestic terrorist? No. In fact, the New York, the police seized my devices, right? Seized my computer, seized my telephone, and the DA's office subpoenaed my email records. So they know I wasn't trafficking weapons. They know I wasn't talking anything crazy. They know I'm not a criminal. They know I was a member in good standing of my local gun range. So they know I passed a criminal background check to become a member in good standing of my local gun range. These are all matters of record. No one has to guess about this. It's down in black and white. It's knowable. And again, the correspondence between the prosecutor and my lawyer, that's a knowable thing. He said if Mr. Taylor had applied for a permit, he would have passed a good moral character test. This is the person who's getting paid to try to put me in prison saying that to my lawyer. Okay, so I mean, to me, this is, for a conservative anyway, this, I would think, it's a no-brainer. And also, of course, because if the Second Amendment protects any right at all, it protects the right of Americans to keep and bear arms privately, inside their own homes, as law-abiding citizens who have no trouble with the law. If people like that are not safe, well, then the Second Amendment's a dead letter. I mean, just give it up, right? Permission to carry, permitting in public, open carry, that's a different question. That's a different question. That's not the question before us. Is it really okay for the federal government to spy on American citizens and then hand data over to the local law enforcement to prosecute someone for what should be a non-crime under the laws of this republic? I don't think so, but here we are, and here I am. So,
Sounds like a deal, bro. Any parting words you want to throw out there before we wrap this up, bro?
No, not really. I just want to, once again, thank all my people out there. My whole internet community, social media community, people who pass me a microphone. I can't say enough how grateful I am. The fact that as many people know about the case as do know about it right now is largely due to them. Because I can get them running my mouth, but it's because other people have asked me to get microphones. It's because other people spread the word that it's a known thing. Special shout out to my brother Jeff Charles, who is now at townhall.com. He used to be at redstate.com. He's done a number of excellent write-ups in my case, and also he and his fiance Donnie are just like the best people. So shout out to both of y'all. God bless you. And just really, I just above all, I want to say how grateful I am. And I'm going to keep doing what I do. I'm going to keep running my mouth and spreading the word and standing up for these principles that we all care about, that we all should care about. So that's it.
All right. How about you, Carl? You can wrap it up tonight.
Again, it's always good hanging out, listening to you guys. I learn a lot listening to you guys just talk. Yeah, combined decades of experience in this arena when it comes to conservatism. Me being a young conservative and raising a young conservative is everything you guys talk about and wisdom that you bring to these conversations is going to help me in the long run to teach future generations. Tonight has been very eye-opening. I hope everybody enjoyed the conversation. Again, this is recorded, so if you want to go back and listen to it, if you joined us late, if you want to go back and listen to this, go back and listen to it, share it with your friends and family, share Dexter's stories. I put his link tree in the chat under this. So if you go to Reverend Tim's page and you see this video, right under it, you'll see the link tree to Dexter's interviews, his story, his page, his YouTube channel, all of that good stuff. If you want to get to know Dexter, and also follow him at Future Radio Cast has been mentioned several times during the conversation tonight, but it's very important if you want to keep up to date and hear it from the horse's mouth, hear it from Dexter himself about his case. That's the best place to get the information. Also follow Rev Tim, especially if you're in the Minnesota area, to keep tabs on his campaign. And, this is a man who is true to what he says, and we need more people like him. So, again, that's all I really have to add. Thank you again, guys, for tuning in, and thank you, Reverend Tim and Dexter, for having this great conversation for us to listen to.
And thank you.
Yeah,
and Carl, thank you, brother, for making it possible.
Yeah. Exactly. I say ditto to what Dexter just said there. You can also go on my YouTube page. That's at Timmy Christopher J8T. And you can pull this off of the YouTube page there also. So if you don't mind going over there and subscribing to that, I'm pretty pat myself on the back because I just figured out. I had the time to figure out how to do that. Also, we will be rolling some things out on our campaign. I'm running with Brad Collier. Brad is running to be the governor of these states of Minnesota. I believe with his business sense and things of that sort that he can definitely make a difference. I believe with my mindset and what goes on in the streets, being able to talk to people, poor people, whether they're white, black, orange, pink, or gray. We can make a difference here in Minnesota, and we can turn this state around. So if you want to know about us, you can look us up, and we're going to be putting out some more literature on some of the things that we're looking to do and turn around here in Minnesota. And with that said, people, we're going to say a good night to everybody. We appreciate you. Definitely God bless each and every one of you, and want to make sure that God holds Dexter in the palm of his hand and put a hedge around Dexter to make sure we want to keep him safe. So with that said, appreciate you, Dexter. Man, you have a good night. Right. We'll talk to y'all.
All right, listen.
Go ahead.
Just Carl, stay on for a bit after Reverend ends the call, please.
Yeah, I got you.
Sounds like a deal, man. Y'all have a good night. We'll talk to you later. All righty. Bye now.
All
right, fam. Hey, thank you guys, like I said, again, very much for hanging out with us. So, again, we're going to ask you one more time if you can just send an email or whatever, and that will definitely help us out. That will get us somewhere. Make maybe just a little bit of noise. Like I said, we got, over 1,700 people on here with us tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you so much for showing up. So we're going to ask one other thing of you is find somebody. I don't care who it is. Joe Rogan. If y'all don't want to, y'all want to have a reason to email or text or tweet Joe Rogan for me, man. Right? Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night. We'll talk to you soon, fam. I'm out. Peace.